One that Shirley and I didn't have time to work up yet, but I'm excited. These are some songs that we've done together in the past, and so I'm so excited that I get to sing with her once more. Now this next song, so kind of coming out of we are not to be afraid. God has not given us a spirit of fear. We are not to be afraid, but that doesn't mean that God has just called us to kind of hunker down, right, inside our church walls and just go, well, hopefully this will pass over. In John 8:12, Jesus said, again Jesus spoke to them saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of light. And then later on, we see in Matthew, well, actually, I guess earlier on, technically, if you're looking at the chronologically in the Bible, he says, not only I am the light of the world, he says, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. So we have a couple of options, and if you're on Facebook, you've probably seen a lot of these even among Christians. A lot of times you'll see hateful posts. You'll see from non-believers, from believers. You see a lot of hate on the news, on Facebook even, and so some people, and I will admit, even sometimes my response is just, well, I won't be hateful. I'll just be passive. And so the thing that we have to remember is as Christians, God has not just called us to kind of the holy huddle, right? But He's called us to be a light in the world. And so sometimes, you remember back to the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus said, blessed are the peacemakers, they will be called the sons of God. I got to teach a class in Paraguay, one of my Bible classes, to our students, and we were looking at the Sermon on the Mount. We were looking at what does this mean to be a peacemaker. A lot of times, even we as Christians confuse a peacemaker with a peacekeeper. And a peacekeeper is usually one that's like, well, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to offend either side, so I'm just going to stay out of it. I'm just going to be passive. And that's a real easy response. And so obviously we're called to be light, not darkness. We're called to love, not hate. But there are times where we as believers can take a stance in love. Now a lot of times, unfortunately, we as believers like to take a stand. It doesn't always come across in love, right? But there are times where we can be peacemakers, and Jesus has called us to do that. In James 3:16-18, it says, for where jealousy and self-ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. I think we have enough of that in our world. It says, but the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. And a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. Isn't that a powerful verse? A harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. So we are called to be peacemakers. And so this next song, Shirley's going to join me on, is called Make Me a Channel of Your Peace. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, never joy. Oh, Master, grant that I may never see to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, in giving of ourselves that we receive, and in dying that we're born to eternal eternal life. Oh, Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. It is in pardoning